This is Tony Suits with Backwoods Biker Magazine and Wood Tramp Outdoors. I've got an email here from Mitch in Slidell, Louisiana, and Mitch wants to know what bug out bag, the bag would I suggest. And he asked me if I can give any tips on bugging out. Hang tight, we're going to cover those too. A couple things here, and I'm going to answer these kind of backwards here. He asked about the bag first, and he asked me about suggestions. First of all, you know, with everything that's going on in the world right now, a lot of people are searching, you know, grabbing for straws for an answer in regards what to do if, you know, society breaks down and bugging out or bugging in, blah, blah, blah. I'm a bug in guy. You know, to me, your house or where you are at, you could fortify that, and you can hold off for quite a long time if you are stockpiled right with not only food, water, but also weapons. You know, that's just the truth of the matter. You know, so you know you're safest there. For me to tell people to bug out, and I have this conversation all the time. You know, it's not a fantasy thing. You know, right now, you know, you going out on the weekend and practicing your bushcraft skills, you're not practicing bug out skills. You want to practice bugging out, you load your pack down with everything that you've got, and you take that pack for at least 5 miles every day, every single day, until your body gets used to it. Your body wants that pack on your back, because if the shit does hit the fan and you decide that you're going to take off somewhere out in the woods, you're not going to last till the grease gets hot, because you just weren't in shape. Your body didn't want to carry that bag, you know. So that's my take on that. But now, if you just are bound and determined and you really want to know what I would recommend in regards to a bag. This has nothing to do with the contents, but just the bag. And a part of it, I didn't read it, but a part of his question was, what do I typically carry? Okay, so we'll talk about that. Let me get right into this here. All right, typically, for me, you know, 2 to 3 day bag is plenty. And this is a wax canvas bag from John Pack that I've had for a few years, and I put a solid bucket in this bucket style pack, and all it is a trash can that I've cut the bottom off and put the bottom down in first, and then I had to reshape the sides. But it just keeps it nice and rugged. Nothing can poke through it. But this particular pack, it weighs about 2.5 pounds. And if I put another, you know, 30 pounds in there, I'm okay. 32 pounds humping this, even at my stage in the game. You know, when I was a Marine, when I was in my early 20s, you know, that's a different story. You know, packing 80 pounds, you know, over 20 miles, that's what we were built for. But this particular pack from John Pack, it weighs about 2.5 pounds, and it's very rugged, and it is, you know, probably one of the best little packs I've ever purchased. Upsides are a lot for this, but the downside is that it's a very small pack. I mean, where are you going to bug out to with this? Where are you going to go? You're going to stay on the run forever with this. You don't even have enough tools to be able to build you a permanent type of bug out shelter, because you're going to need so many different things to consider to put in this bag. So, you know, something this size I wouldn't recommend. You know, it's not very big at all, 2 to 3 day pack. But I do like wax canvas. But as you get bigger, like this wax canvas, this is the Bushcrafter from Duluth Pack. This is a huge pack, as you can see. This is actually a canoe pack size, and This one weighs 5.5 pounds the way it is. These are Tank Tough. These are an heirloom pack. They will last you for your entire life, and you'll pass it on to somebody else as well. They're just around $600, sometimes more, sometimes a little less. But they are rock solid. They are huge. They got great features. But the thing about it, when you buy a pack like this, you know, that's this size, and you begin to fill this with gear, you can start ringing up the pounds. You know, you can put 60 pounds of gear off in here if you're not careful, and now you're going to be hurting whenever you're out in the bush. These will last a long time. They're really, really tough. It's even tougher than the John Pack that I showed you because of the weight of the canvas that they use. So one of the bags that I would say stay away from are the flimsy nylon style bags that you can find at Walmart or Target, places like that, or even on the Amazon. And so, you know, that just leads to me what I would. And it's not so much the company that I'm going to show you, but it is the bag style. These are tactical bags, and these are made from Kelty. This is the Falcon 2300 cubic inches, and this is one of those, another 3-day pack. This is just a scout pack. That's what I call it, the strike, you know, in and out. But it's got a lot of features, and what really attracted us, you know, when we first hooked up with Kelty, it was all about putting a bag on the back of a motorcycle that would be rolling down the highway at 70 to 80 miles an hour. And, you know, the wax bags that I showed you, they would do that as well, but they are a little bit heavier than what these bags are. This bag over here is just over a couple pounds. It's made out of 5,000 and 10,000 denier nylon, which means it's almost bulletproof. It will take snags, rips, tears. I mean, it's just going to handle whatever you throw at it. But again, when you're talking about the premise of bugging out, you know, we put a video out on bugging out, and we also did a full-length article on our take on bugging out or bugging in, and it actually tells about the roots of the bug out idea. Where did that come from? Well, you go ahead and read the article. Get that issue of the magazine and read the article, because you'll learn a lot from it. You know, bugging out was never, you know, let's go camping for a weekend and come back in. It was a military maneuver. When being overrun, you took off to a designated spot, and you only had enough gear. And back then, they didn't even have a designated bag. It was just whatever they had, you know. But it was, you go to your designated spot where your rendezvous was going to happen at, and, you know, they said take enough gear for 3 days. Everybody was different. But nonetheless, you know, first of all, the thing you want to consider, make sure that it is a bulletproof bag, that it's not going to break down, that the seams are not going to break down, you know, the buckles aren't going to break down, all of that, you know. So this bag runs about $300, somewhere around there, but again, it'll last you a lifetime. The zippers are very stout. Now, if I was going to bug out, which I would never do that unless my house was burning down, but if I was, I wouldn't take this bag because it's too small. You know, when you're talking about bugging out, you may be gone for several weeks, and it could be that you may not be able to go back to your home. You know, so you're going to have a bag that is going to last you, not only physically, but also capacity-wise, that you can put enough gear in and be able to pack it on your back, okay? This is also made by Kelty. This is the Falcon 4000, 4,000 cubic inches. And it is also a bucket-style pack that has a hood pack on the top here. It has its own built-in rain fly on the bottom. But what makes this such an attractable bag is the fact that it has this adjustable frame that, as your load gets heavier or lighter, you can adjust the frame up and down to make sure that the lumbar isn't breaking your back down. But you know, it's a very nice bag. They make both the Strike and the Falcon very compliant. This bag, very compliant, will cost you $999. Very compliant Strike is going to cost you around $500. You can get both of these bags that are not very compliant. For those of you who don't know what very compliant is, it's just a government mandate of rules that tells manufacturers what they have to use in order for the government to buy your merchandise. In other words, everything on a Berry bag, from the loops to the thread to the zippers to the straps to the nylon, all has to be American made. It all has to be American sourced, and the bag has to be made on American soil. That's being very compliant. But you know, smart companies like Kelty, realizing that not everybody's going to want a very compliant bag, but they want the same stuff in the same style of bag. So they made this also, and it's foreign sourced, but it's made out of the same 5,000, 10,000 D nylon. It's using the same zippers. It's using, you know, the same style strap. Everything is the same. You put them side by side. We've had them side by side, and you really can't tell the difference. So, you know, bottom line is you got to have a bag that will hold everything that you're going to need. And just don't say it's just a 3-day bug out bag. You don't know if it's going to be 3 days or not. And one thing you don't want to do is get out and realize 3 days isn't even going to scratch the surface. So you want to get a bag that is very rugged, very nice, a tactical style bag. I don't know if these come in different colors, but that would be one consideration that I would make. You know, everybody and their brother wants a bag this color. You know, whenever you're bugging out, you want to embrace the gray man mentality. You know, blend in anywhere. This sticks out like a sore thumb. But I hope the video helped you out, and if you got any more questions, please put them in the comments. You know, I appreciate you telling me what type of bag that you've got. Hit that subscribe and share button, and we'll put you in our monthly database for free gear. So until next time, you guys ride free, you live free, and as always, you be safe out there.